Welcome to the puppet show. My name is Andy, and this is Book and Puppet Company's special Hanukkah story and puppet show. That was the announcement. That was the announcement. Now I'm going to do this puppet show with a mask on, which is very, very good thing to do right now because it's safer. But it probably means I'm going to have to talk really loud inside the mask. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, this should work okay.
I can't hear you, Andy.
You can't hear me? Oh no, this wizard can't hear me.
What did you say?
I said we're going to have Hershel and the Hanukkah Goblins.
Oh, don't you need an egg?
A what?
You need this basket. You're going to need an egg and a pickle.
An egg and a pickle?
Well, you're going to need a jar of pickles.
A jar of pickles? I don't have a jar of... Do you have a jar of pickles? Nobody has a jar. This is very bad.
It's going to be an imaginary jar.
All right, I can do imaginary jar. Okay, and now we're going to start Hershel and the Hanukkah Goblins by Eric Kimmel.
Oh, I'm getting out, yeah.
Illustrated by Trina Schartheimer. Yes, watch out for goblins, because this is Hershel, and if you turn the book around, I just want to show you something. On the front cover, you can see Hershel, and on the back cover, you can see some goblins! Exactly. That is my point exactly. And here is the menorah, and here comes the story of Hershel and the Hanukkah Goblins. What?
I saw a thing. Yeah, like...
No, it's just the book. Don't worry. There aren't any real goblins. Goblins are not real.
Right there!
Goblins are what?
There's a goblin!
No, the goblins are not real. Don't worry about it. Goblins are not real. It was the first night of Hanukkah. Hershel of Ostropol was walking down the road. He was tired and hungry. Nevertheless, his step was light. Soon he would reach the next village where bright candles, merry songs, and platters piled with tasty potato latkes awaited him. Here he goes. What? That's my favorite word. You want to say but with me? But when he arrived at the...
There's a goblin!
I'm pretty sure you're crazy. But when he arrived, the village was silent. Shh. Not a single Hanukkah candle was to be seen. I don't see any goblins. Don't worry about it. There's no goblins. Isn't tonight the first night of Hanukkah? Hershel asked the villagers. We don't have Hanukkah. Hershel, one of them answered sadly, no Hanukkah! How could that be? It's because of the goblins! There's no goblins. They haunt the old synagogue at the top of the hill. They hate Hanukkah. Whenever we try to light a menorah, the goblins blow out the candles. I'm telling you there aren't any. They break the dreidels. They throw our potato latkes on the floor. Those wicked goblins. They make our lives miserable. All year long. But on Hanukkah, it's really bad. Oh no, everything's falling. Hershel knew he must help. Hershel knew he must help the village people. I'm not afraid of goblins, he said. Tell me how to get rid of them. It's not as easy as you think. The rabbi warned. You must spit. What? You are fooling me. You are fooling me. There's no goblins here. It's not as easy as you think. The rabbi warned. You must spend 8 nights in the old synagogue. The Hanukkah candles must be lit each night. On the 8th night, the king of the goblins must light them himself. That is the only way to break their power. I'm not afraid, Rabbi, Hershel said. If I can't outwit a few goblins, then my name isn't Hershel of Ostrogol. Hershel is going to go. He's going to try to outwit the goblins. The villagers wish. I don't know what you're talking about. The villagers wished Hershel good luck. They had no potato latkes to give him, so they packed him several hard-boiled eggs for him to eat, along with a big jar of pickles. Pickles. The rabbi gave Hershel a box, but no. What do you say?
It had like a fruit or something.
The rabbi gave Hershel a package of candles and a box of matches. Then the villagers said goodbye. They never expected to see Hershel again. You guys are like totally fantasizing everything. It was long past sundown by the time Hershel climbed to the top of the hill where the old synagogue stood. The crumbling building was gloomy and dark, and Rusty Hinder squealed as Hershel opened the door. Can you open the door to the synagogue? Can you open the door? Hershel shuddered. Well, could he believe that goblins lived here? He put what?
Right there! Right there!
No, there's no goblins.
There's a mutant dog!
He put 2 candles in the menorah and set it on the windowsill. Bing, bing. He struck a match and lit the shamas candle. Bing. He said the blessings and was about to light the other candle when he heard a voice. I heard a voice.
It was a goblin!
What?
It was a goblin!
You've been making up goblins this whole time. I'll just check now. I'll look now. I'm scared to look. I don't know if Oh! I saw a goblin! I saw you. The goblin said, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Hey, what are you doing?
Hershel turned around. Here was a goblin no bigger than a horsefly. You're little. with a long pointy tail and two bat's wings hovering in the air. I'm lighting Hanukkah candles, Hershel said. Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. Oh, no, it's not. We don't allow Hanukkah.
No Hanukkah, no Hanukkah, no Hanukkah.
Is that so? Said Hershel. Who's gonna stop me? A little pipsqueak like you? And the goblin said, I may be little, but I'm strong. Really? Can you crush rocks in your hand? Can you crush rocks in your hand?
Well, I never tried to crush a rock. What size rock were you talking about?
I am strong enough to crush a rock.
You are?
Watch. Hershel took a hard-boiled egg from his pocket and squeezed it until the yolk and white ran through his fingers.
Oh, that's scary.
That's how hard I'm going to squeeze you if you try to stop me from lighting these candles. The little goblin's eyes opened wide. Since the egg looked just like a rock, the little goblin shook with fear. He said, you leave me alone.
Leave me alone,
Let's
you
all-
big bully.
Let's all say, leave me alone, you big bully.
Leave me alone, you big bully.
Gladly, said Hershel,
Bye.
if you let me light my candles in peace.
I won't bother you.
Okay. The goblin, look, this person is not going to scare you.
You're not gonna scare me?
Wait a minute, you have a shirt that says Tree Rex. Are you a dinosaur? He's not a dinosaur.
Oh,
He is not a dinosaur.
neither am I. I'm not a dinosaur.
He's not a dinosaur either. He's a goblin.
Am I a dinosaur?
No!
I don't think I'm a dog. Look at my paws.
Okay, you guys,
I don't know what I am.
enough.
Go away.
On the second night, another goblin appeared. This one was big and fat and waddled like a goose. Hershel was finishing his dinner of pickles and hard-boiled eggs. Have some pickles, he said to the goblin. Here, catch. Hershel tossed him a sour pickle. The goblin caught it in his mouth and swallowed it. Pickles are good. Do you like them?
I liked it.
I have plenty in this jar. Take them all if you want.
Oh,
The
okay.
greedy goblin grabbed as many pickles in his claws as he could hold. But when he tried to pull his fist out of the jar, he couldn't.
My fist is stuck.
Your fist is stuck in the jar.
Oh no.
That's right, Hershel said, in the invisible jar. That's right, Hershel said, laughing. Ha ha ha. It's a very powerful spell.
Oh no.
You came here tonight to stop me from lighting the Hanukkah candles.
I did.
So now I'm going to light them while you stand with your hand in the jar
Oh, no.
and watch. How do you like?
I can't get my hand out of the jar, so I'm completely helpless.
I know. How do you like that?
Oh no.
Do you hate Hanukkah?
Yeah.
Oh
I
no.
hate it even more now.
That bad goblin, too bad. You'll have to get used to it. Hershel said the blessings and lit the candles. Let's light the candles. Bing! Light a candle. Bing! Can you light a candle? Bing! Bing! Then he sang all his favorite Hanukkah songs. The goblin wailed and carried on.
No, don't sing the menorah one.
Shall I tell you how to break the spell?
How do you break the spell?
Let go of the pickles!
What? All I have to do is let go of this pickle and can get my head out of the jar?
Just let go of the pickles!
Let him go.
Can you let go of the pickles? Show me how you let go of the pickles.
I have. Throw it
You
away.
did it! The goblin let go of the pickles.
Ah.
His hand slipped out of the jar easily.
Hey.
How that goblin raged!
You didn't tell me if I let go of the pickles, I didn't get my hand out of the jar!
Yeah! The furious goblin stepped his foot so hard that he smashed into 1,000,000 pieces!
Oh no!
The wind blew them away.
Like how it is right now?
Blow the goblin away.
Wow, the goblin
He went away.
He came back.
The third night. What? Oh. The third night came. Hershel felt something watching him as he set the candles in the menorah. Instead of lighting them, he began playing with the dreidel. Let's play with the dreidel. An hour passed. Hershel looked up. Sitting across the table was another goblin.
Another goblin.
Another goblin. This one had a blue face.
Ooh, I have a blue face.
It's,
Good choice.
it's getting late, the goblin said. When are you going to light the candles? Later, there's plenty of time. Hershel spun his dreidel. Bing! Bing! The goblin said, what are you playing with?
What are you doing?
Well, it's a dreidel. Don't you know about dreidels?
No, what's
Too
a
bad.
dreidel?
Too bad. Dreidels are lots of fun. You can also make a lot of money if you know how to play.
Money?
The goblin was interested now. All goblins like money.
Yeah, I like money.
How do you play? He said.
You have money.
It's very simple, Hershel said. But you
Yeah.
must have gold. That's the first rule.
Gold.
Do you have plenty?
I have this celery.
Oh, great! Look, this goblin has celery. Do you like to play for celery?
Oh no!
Did you ever gamble for celery?
Even though gambling.
It means playing for the money. It's celery money.
No.
Celery money, it's green.
We need bills or coins.
They call it lettuce.
Or cash or credit.
Oh, cash or credit. What about celery? Just go to the store and tell them I'm buying this for celery. Whoops.
I got mine from the cellar.
Yeah, and I want to sell it to you for celery from the cellar. That's fine, Hershel said. Listen carefully now. This letter is shin. If it comes up, you give me a handful of gold.
Oh,
This letter is hay. If it comes up, you give me half your gold.
oh.
This is Gimmel. If the dreidel falls on this letter, you give me all your gold. Understand?
Oh.
Wait, there's one letter left, said the goblin. What
Yeah,
about this?
that letter?
That's nun.
Nun.
If the dreidel falls on nun, I don't give you anything.
Oh, well, that's okay then.
Ready, let's play. You go first. The goblin spun the dreidel. The little top whirled round. The goblin spun the dreidel. The little top whirled round.
It fell down.
When it fell, the letter on top was shin. Too bad, Hershel said, taking a big handful of the goblin's gold. I got some of your celery. Try again. Maybe you'll have better luck.
I'll spin it.
The goblin spun the dreidel one more time. This time it fell on hay.
Hey!
Hey,
Does that mean I win?
this isn't your night, Hershel said, helping himself to half the goblin's gold.
No!
Yes! One more time. Your luck is bound to improve. Once more the goblin spun the dreidel round. This time the dreidel landed on Gimmel.
Gibble?
Gimmel!
Give me your gold!
Too bad, Hershel sighed as he
What?
took the rest of the goblin's gold.
This can't be right!
Would you like me to spin? Yes, the goblin grumbled. He was very unhappy about losing his money. Hershel spun the dreidel. This time the lantern nun was on top. Oh my, I don't give you anything. I get to keep all the gold.
No!
Say, that was fun. Get some more gold. We'll play some more. What about the Hanukkah candles? The goblin asked. We'll light them later. There's plenty of time. The goblin said, not for me. I don't like this game.
I don't like this game.
I don't like Hanukkah.
Hanukkah's terrible.
I don't like you.
You're terrible.
Don't go, Hershel pleaded. I know lots of games. Stay a while. We'll have fun.
No, it's not fun.
Goodbye, the goblin said. He spread his wings and he swooped out the door and flew off into the night. Hershel lit the candles all by himself. Let's light the candles. On the following night, other goblins came. One had 6 heads.
What?
One had 3 eyes. All were terrible and fierce.
I'm the terrible one.
They growled and roared and changed themselves into horrible shapes. They tried to stop Hershel from lighting the Hanukkah candles, but Hershel fooled them all. Finally, the 7th night arrived. 8 tiny candles flickered on the windowsill. Hershel sat back and looked like them. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you. Hershel sat back to enjoy their light. Where were the goblins? Had they finally given up? Hershel felt very sleepy. His eyes closed. Suddenly, he sat up. He heard a terrible sound. A voice that sounded like the cracking of bones. That's pretty bad. The voice said, Happy Hanukkah, Hershel of Osterpal.
Happy Hanukkah! Hershel of Osterpal!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ah!
Who is it? Who's there? The voice said, Don't you know who I am? Who were you expecting? The king of the goblins. Who is it? Who is it? It's gonna be the king of the goblins. The voice rose to a hurricane roar. It ripped the shingles from the synagogue roof. It shattered the windows. The Hanukkah candles railed in the savage blast, but they did not go out. You're too early, Hershel shrieked. You're not supposed to come till tomorrow. You're too early. You're not supposed to come till tomorrow.
Oh, okay, bye.
The great wind died down. Don't worry, Hershel, I am far away, but I have the power to see you and speak to you. Enjoy this Hanukkah evening, my friend. It will be your last. Tomorrow night I will come for you. You fooled my slave, the other goblin. Let's see if you can fool me. Poor Hershel. What was he to do? The king of the goblins was on his way, and no power on earth could stop him. Unless Hershel had an idea. There was a big chance, but he had to take it. It was the only way to save himself and Hanukkah. It was the last night of Hanukkah. Hershel set the candles in the menorah. But instead of placing it on the windowsill, he put the menorah and the box of matches on a small table near the door. Then he sat down to wait. Night fell. It grew dark as pitch. Oh no, it's very dark. inside the gloomy old synagogue. Outside, the whole world lay cold and silent. Suddenly, a great gust ripped the synagogue door from its hinges. The whole building shook. A fearsome voice spoke. Say, Hershel lost the ball.
Hershel!
Did I hear something?
Hershel!
It is I, the King of the Goblins, said the Goblin King.
It is I, the King of the Goblins!
Hershel laughed. Ha! Don't be silly. You're one of the boys from the village. You're trying to scare me.
No, really! It's me!
I'll believe it when I see it. Show yourself to me. He says, behold, I stand before you. Do you believe me now? Hershel tried not to look. Even in the darkness, he could see the outline of the monstrous shape filling the doorway, a figure too horrible to describe. He pretended not to care. It's too dark. I can't see you. A candlestick and some matches are by the doorway. Why don't you light a few candles? Then I'll see who you really are.
It's me, though. It's me. It's really me.
Light the candles. A match flared. The shamus candle caught the flame. Let's make the flame. Bing! Can you make the candle? Bing! Can you make the candle go? Bing! Hershel's blood turned to water at the awful sight of him. But he did not lose courage. Master of the world, he silently prayed. Thou who created the heavens and the earth and the spirits of the air, stand by me now. Then he addressed the goblin. Ew. It's still too dark. What are you afraid of? There are plenty of candles. Why not light all the candles?
You still can't see me. I did my eye trick and everything.
You have to light all the candles. A hideous hand took the shamus candle and lit the others one by one. Can you light the candles? Ding, 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 ding. Hershel felt himself growing faint, but he forced himself to look. His eyes grew wider and wider as each candle caught the flame. 6, 7, 8. The King of the Goblins stood before him. And he said, now, Hershel, do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
I know you're not Queen Esther. And he said, very funny. Enjoy the joke. It will be your last.
It will be your last joke.
That's what you think. Be gone, or I'll take a stick to you.
What?
And he said, how well, I'll speak to you any way I please. You have no power. Your spell is broken.
What?
See, the menorah is lit. You thought those were ordinary candles.
What? That
They
was the menorah?
weren't. They were Hanukkah candles.
Oh, you forget how many there are.
And you lit them yourself.
I lit them myself. Oh no.
The King of the Goblins roared with fury. The earth trembled and a mighty wind arose. Woo! Can you make the mighty wind? Whoosh! 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 It ripped up the synagogue and blew down the walls and splintered the great timbers and snattered them like matchsticks. Around the menorah the whirlwind howled, but the candles never flickered. They burned with clear, steady flames. The King of the Goblins had no power. The spirit of Hanukkah had triumphed. Yay!
Can I come for Hanukkah?
You can come for Hanukkah.
I don't like Hanukkah.
The great wind vanished as suddenly as it had risen. Hershel rubbed his eyes. The night was as before, even though the synagogue was gone.
The synagogue was gone.
I know it blew away. Walls, floor, roof, even the foundation stones had vanished. But, you want to say but with me? But the menorah remained standing tall upon the little table where Hershel had placed it. Hershel waited until the last candle burned out. Then he started down the road that led to the village. I better hurry, he thought. I don't want to miss the last night of Hanukkah.
Yeah, I want some clucking.
You want to come with me?
Yeah.
But there was no reason to worry. In every window there stood a menorah with 9 gleaming candles to light the way. The whole village was waiting for him. Yay, he did it! And that is the story of Hershel and the Hanukkah Goblins. And thank you for coming to our puppet show. Thank you for coming.